It's Wednesday, April 23rd, and today, and for the next 3 podcasts, including this one, I'll be wondering about the Cowboys in the NFL draft.
And now, a word from our title sponsor.
We aim to turn your nest egg into a paycheck with half the amount you've been led to believe. Fluent Financial combines in-house portfolio design and risk management with income-generating investments designed to accelerate your financial independence. Our goal is to develop an effective portfolio strategy to help you retire sooner and have a better lifestyle. Visit fluentfinancial.com.
If it were for the NFL draft starting tomorrow night, and by the way, I'll be full-time with the ticket coverage of the NFL draft, first pick to last as usual. But if it weren't for the draft happening, boy, would I have some words about the comments of Mavericks general manager Nico Harrison. But that's going to have to wait till next week, because it's draft time in the NFL. The Cowboys sound like they have power in the draft. They have 10 picks, but they have a first, a second, and a third, and then the other 7 picks are from the 5th round on. They have only 3 of the first 148 picks in this draft. More and more, the indicators are that the Cowboys will draft Texas wide receiver Matthew Golden. He had the fastest 40 time of any player at this year's combine. If they take Golden, here'll be the theory. He's fast, and his speed will draw defenders downfield, and that will open up more the intermediate and short routes that CeeDee Lamb loves to run, because CeeDee Lamb's specialty is catching passes like that and then creating yards after the catch. If we do use a pick on a wide receiver, the number 1 pick, it could be Golden of Texas, McMillan of Arizona, Burden of Missouri, I don't think him, Egbuka from Ohio State. Even if we use as little as a 3rd rounder on a wide receiver, it continues Dallas' search of someone to play the other wide receiver from CeeDee Lamb. Remember when they had Amari Cooper years ago and got rid of him? Well, in the last 3 years, Dallas has, trying to fill that number 2 wide receiver role, traded for Brandon Cooks, used a 3rd round draft pick on Jalen Tolbert, traded this year's 4 for Jonathan Mingo, used a 6 on Ryan Flournoy, a 7 on Jalen Brooks, and signed the free agent Paris Campbell this offseason. Whew! And they still haven't filled that hole. But also in the first 3 picks, besides potentially a wide receiver, the Cowboys must take a running back. So 2 of the first 3 picks figure to be offensive players. That leaves only 1 for the defense. Let's look at that defense. It needs help. Last year, the Cowboys were 28th in the league at creating turnovers, 31st in the league in red zone touchdown defense, 28th in total defense, 31st, there's only 32 teams in the league, 31st in points allowed, 29th in rush yards allowed, 137 yards a game. Oh, and 32nd, that would be dead last, in red zone TDs allowed. But with all that bad defensive talk, and the need for a running back and a wide receiver, I feel, looking at the Cowboys, that there's even a more concerning area, and that's our lines. Both lines, offense and defense. The Eagles won the Super Bowl last year, and oh yes, Jalen Hurts was fine, and Brown, the wide receiver, was good, and Goddard, the tight end, and Hurts, the quarterback. I know all that. You know what the Eagles were best at? Beating the hell out of somebody else. Their lines were terrific. Offense and defense. Let me give you some comparisons between the Eagles lines and the Cowboys lines.
Okay, I'm not a cook, but my beautiful Mary is, and I must tell you that we've fallen in love with OPA seasonings. That's OPA, O-P-A. Make healthy meals that taste wonderful. OPA's all natural. We use it on meat, fish, chicken, salad, veggies. Just sprinkle, cook, and enjoy. And we found a little OPA goes a long way. Order your OPA now from the website opafoods.com and use the promo code NORM, that's me, and get 10% off your order. Delicious meals, all natural, and save some money. What is not to love about OPA seasonings?
For more than 3 decades, Bob's Steak and Chop House has remained an icon of DFW restaurants. Why? Well, maybe it's because of Bob. He's fanatical about cleanliness and friendliness, and his food, oh my Lord, his food. If you've been there, you know about it. If you haven't been there, you should know about it. The original Bob welcomes you at either of his 2 locations, Bob's on Lemon Avenue or the sparkling new Bob's at Craig Ranch, McKinney.
Let's take defensive tackle, where the Cowboys have a crying need. Pro Football Focus rated 126 defensive tackles. Those are tackles who played enough plays to be rated by Pro Football Focus. Osa Odigizua was pretty good. He was 30th. Linville Joseph, who was a spare part picked up off the street before the season began, he was rated in the 70s. And 2 years ago's number 1 draft pick, Mozzie Smith, was rated 125th out of 126. But what about the Eagles? What about the Eagles' defensive tackles? They rated their 4 top defensive tackles rated in the league the 14th best, 18th best, 23rd best, and 31st best. They have the best defensive tackles in the league. Let's go to the offensive tackles. Well, Terrence Steele, rated number 43, I believe. Let me check my notes here. 43 out of the 81 offensive tackles rated. Tyler Guyton, the rookie, he rated 73rd of the 81 offensive tackles graded by Pro Football Focus. 43 and 73. Do you know what the Philadelphia offensive tackles rated? 1st and 5th. If the Cowboys are going to get back near or to the top of the NFL, these lines have to be fixed. In the offseason, well, Zach Martin retired, but that was expected. They lost a good swing tackle guard in Chuma Edoga. On the defensive line, DeMarcus Lawrence left for free agency. That was expected. And they lost in free agency a really solid end and tackle in Chauncey Golston. The lines here have to be repaired. And you generally don't fix lines with 5th and 6th and 7th draft choices. Listen, a wide receiver would be fine. They need that. A running back would be fine. They need that. A cornerback would be fine. A linebacker would be fine. A defensive end would be fine. A defensive tackle would be fine. An offensive tackle would be fine. The Cowboys have a lot of needs. But for me, the greatest need is they've got to build their offensive and defensive lines back to the kind of level of competence that is required if you're going to win the Super Bowl in the NFL.
Today's episode brought to you by Fluent Financial, Retire Sooner, Better Lifestyle, by Bob's Steak and Chop House, and by Opa Seasonings. Savor the flavor in your food.
Thanks for listening to today's episode of Just Wondering with Norm Hitzges. If you enjoyed what you heard, please hit follow, and a fresh new episode will be delivered to you every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. And if you know someone who might enjoy our work, please share it with them. I'm Norm Hitzges, and I'm always just wondering about something.
And I'm Mary Hitzges.